Welcome back to Docs Off Topic. So today's job, take this apart, wash everything, clean everything, and I mean clean, because this has still got mud from the 2022 Brisbane floods. My entire workshop back then, which was located in Brisbane, isn't now, was about 2 metres underwater. And it's been a lot of cleaning. I've got a lot of things back together again. There's a few things that still need fixing, but I'm getting there. It's a slow progress. So let's get this thing apart. Spider fluff. What I might do is take the bearing caps off, take this shaft off, undo, and then push the shaft out of the pulleys. I think that's going to be the most controlled way, because otherwise I think I'm going to end up hammering on things, and I don't think that's going to be a good idea. So that's release. Okay. Those are very worn. Okay, that's that out. Oh, they're not that bad, actually. Not that bad. Okay. And yes, I know this top is very, very dirty, but it will do the trick for now. Okay. Let's see. Now, going on how things were done on the lathe with grub screws and whatnot, I'm going to take these all the way out, because the ones on the lathe itself, the few that I found, usually drilled in about 1/8. So, I don't want any surprises. Yeah, these are definitely recessed into the shaft, because that's 1 inch long, and that hub is 3/4 of an inch thick, so it's definitely a bit going inside. At least I think so. Okay, we're going to have to get this off before we can take that off. Now, I don't have a bearing puller big enough for this. It is moving. Okay, so that one off. Came off a lot easier than I thought it would. Okay, so a bit of rummaging down here. there is actually a a grub screw down there. Let's see if we can get it loose. Definitely a grub screw down there. So the mud wasps got into one of these. As you can see, by the way, they are set quite deeply in. I bet there's also one down in here. Yep. Need access to a big vise. Okay, well that one went easily. The issue I have is that there's a lot of muck down that hole. That's what I thought. Right, come on. So probably clear. I'll just back it all the way out so I can get all the muck out. If in doubt, hammer it out. Now I did clean that thread with a tap first. Let's find the other one. What I should have done for this one as well. Admittedly, it is now technically free. It shouldn't have anything to bind into anymore. Alright, should be clear. Let's try and get the shaft out. And then we'll try and see if we can't figure out a way to get that grub screw out. Okay. I'm guessing this is 1 inch shaft. Guess it just needs a bit of a soak, really. All dried out crud is eventually coming loose. Okay, so I don't use this parts washer anywhere near as much as I should. And I've upped the concentration to 1:10, just because this grease is really old and crappy and it's just not. Well, I'm going to make a new shaft for the counter shaft. The old one, the bearing surfaces are there's quite a bit of wear there. There's a marked step. And it's quite scored up and chewed up. Now, apparently, the soil in my area is really galvanically active, and iron resting in the soil and resting up against another piece of metal sets up a quite effective cell. Good thing this is 33 and I need 25.6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little steady band and set up the steady rest, center drill, put in a live center, and then I will turn it down. I only need 28.5 centimeters, and I should be able to scoot it out in the lathe jaws just a little bit to get that. And then I'll turn it down to 25.6. Oops, forgot to hit record. Bit more. Still a bit more. Oh, I see what I'm working a bit too close to the tailstock chuck. I think we're there. I thought I had some 28mm round, but no. What I have is 33 and 38. Okay, that's good. All right, let's clean up and install our steady rest. Probably should have cleaned this up ages ago. That one's always a little bit tight. It shouldn't be. All right, quick little face off. Whoa, we are way below center. See how that work goes. Excellent. What? Did we just lose the start winding? pull that out. This will take a little while. That's a 25 thou depth of cut. So 1¼ millimeter, no, yeah, 1¼ millimeters off the diameter. So this is the end of the second full length pass. And we should be down around about 29.5 millimeters from 33. So we started at about 1¼ inch. We should be getting down towards 1 1/8 inches. Let's see, it's not very hot. We are at 29.76. Alright, so this is the last of the roughing cuts. We're at 26 millimeters. There's a 0.01 millimeter taper, so 10 micron taper, which is what, half a thou. Taper end to end, and tiny, about maybe a thou worth of belly in it at the moment. But I've still got about 0.35 to take off, which I'll do with a finishing with a finishing insert, and then leaving enough to polish it to give it as slick a finish as I can. Which means we can finally come out of back gearing, because it's really driving me nuts. let's see, where are we at? We are at 26.025. Expect this end will be just a hair breadth bigger. Hang on. It's actually point tiny bit thinner at this end. Okay. In the middle, yeah, we've still got that thou worth of belly. 0.02. Oh, that is leaving a lovely finish. As you'll see soon enough. All right. That is beautiful. So that is 26.0. So we've got a reasonable amount of taper here actually. Should be about 4,000 depth of cut. Index the tip around and it is leaving a much better finish. That is beautiful. So that is 25.78. 78. A little bit down on that end. So we'll see where it comes back up. 7.5. About there. Okay, let's see. Seven five. 7.5. 7.1. So this end is pretty close to where I need it. 0.66. Hair over 0.66. Okay, I think we're in the realms of where we can so down this end we are where we need to be. So let's bring the rest of this down. It's got about 0.03 to come off. So we'll run some 80 grit and then a little bit of 120 and then we'll 400 and 600 and hopefully that'll be smooth enough for the bearings. Okay, so the pulley goes on. might need to so I might need to lap a little bit off the mating faces because they do, but they close all the way up. And you don't want that. And there's a bit of wibble. I'm feeling it'll be okay. All right, chamfer the end and we'll end it. Nice bit of a chamfer on there. Flip it end for end and do the little tail end so we've got all the length we need. Okay, so that's where I'm leaving off on this one. Counter shaft is mounted. Bearings need to run in on the new shaft. The old shaft is going to go in the scrap bin. It is torn up something fierce. And then the next step, mount the motor, backstay, some belts, and we power up. I reckon in the next video we might actually see the spindle turn. So look out for that one. In the meantime, if you've liked this video, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to share on social media, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. When you do, don't forget, ring the notification bell. So get out to your shop, knuckle down, make some progress on a project. But above all, stay safe, and I will catch you for the next one.